Good evening, everybody. Good to see all of these beautiful people. I am Calvin's older sister, and yes, I have some stories. We are 2 years apart, by the way, 2 years and a couple months. When we were growing up, Calvin was the definition of bad. If you looked that word up in the dictionary, you would see his face right in there. For the most part of Calvin's life, his younger life, Calvin was bad, and as a result of that, my parents never spared the rod. So he was getting us behind whooped. Okay? So I prepared the chart to indicate the various age groups of behind whoopings that he received. So if you see here, between age 7 and 10, Calvin was getting beaten 85% of the time. Between age 11 and 15 years of age, the ratings went up to 90%. My father used to call it cut up, because he's from the country. Between the age of 16 and 18 years of age, the beating ceased. But he still got popped inside the head. The items used to pop him upside the head or to whoop us behind consisted of shoes, belts, switches, pottery. Can I get an amen? Anything that our mom can reach. Alright? Thank you for your attention in that. I will admit that Calvin, like, I was bad too. Yeah. I just put myself out there, but I never got caught doing the thing. Calvin was the one that got caught. We would be wearing those one-piece 90s. Anybody used to have those with the foot in them? With the slippery bottom? Yeah? Okay. We would have, the ones. We would have those on, and we would take it upon ourselves to slide down the steps frontwards. But it would be at a time when our parents were trying to sleep. And we would be up, sliding down the steps frontwards in the onesie. So my mother would get up, get your tail back in the bed. And we'd be So one night, Calvin decided he was going to continue to go back down the steps for the last triumph. I didn't. So my mother got up, she caught Calvin, she beat Calvin down the steps, and then beat him back up the steps to the bed.
I forgot that.
Calvin also had a delicate palate. Like, my mother would serve 3 meals a day, you get a snack, dessert. But Calvin still wanted to eat additional things. Now, when I call you snack, you can raise your hand as well. Snack number 1. I'll save this for last. I'll let y'all finish eating first.
Oh my goodness.
Chalk? Anybody eat chalk? Okay. All right, sis. Paper?
Tell him how the paper.
He ate paper.
How we eat paper.
She never got that far.
She forgot when she said we used to eat paper. We would take a sheet of paper and like rip it up into little small pieces, right? And like ball it up in like little balls.
That's what's wrong.
And we eat it. Like, I mean, that's how we eat the paper.
Like paper nuggets. Who you see? Ajax?
Ajax, yes.
Ajax?
Okay, wait a minute. One day Calvin tried to eat dog food and bird food. But you know, has a little sunflower season. He also has tried scabs from the stores.
Oh.
And last but not least, I'm sorry y'all, boogies.
All kids do that. I got a busload of them.
But Calvin was never a punk. He was always the gangster among the three siblings here. In our neighborhood, you know, our family lived on one street, so we would have like neighborhood fights. And one day my mother was getting into an argument, and it got pretty, you know, heated up. So we're looking for Calvin. Calvin ran and got a baseball bat, and he's running out the door past my mother trying to beat somebody down. That's Calvin. I'm running upstairs hiding in the room because I'm a punk. Well, that's the end of my little vignettes, and I hope you enjoyed it. But I said those things to say that I'm very proud of you, little brother, and I just enjoy watching you do the things that you do for God, and His giftings in you, because you were told that you were not going to be anything, that you were going to be a failure. But look at you.
Yes!
Yes!
I'm very proud. And 2 Corinthians 5:17 says,
Come on, come on.
therefore, if anyone is in Christ,
He is a new creation.
Come on.
yes, he is a
New creation.
The old is passed away. Behold, all things are new. God bless you. The next roaster is our dad, Mr. Calvin. Come on up.
Hey, baby, take this on your way. Say thank you.
Come on up. Calvin D. Tucker Sr. How much time do I have?
Oh.
Calvin always was a joyful, happy kid. At 2 years old, well, up to about 4 years old, he was, I don't know if anyone seen his baby picture, but he was so fat. Up to about 4. It seemed like he'd take 3 steps and fall. He would fall backwards and fall forward. Every time he falls, his front teeth would go out like that. And if you see a picture of when he was like 6 or 7, you will see what I'm saying. I was so glad when he got 13 so we can get braces for him. When he was about 5 or 6, I guess, both of them had their own rooms. He was afraid to sleep in his room by himself. So once or twice a week, he was always crying, waking me up. Dad, a monster on the bed, a monster on the bed. I said, boy, no monster on the bed. Yeah, let's go right there. I said, okay, stay in that room. I go in there. I said, I'll go beat the monster up. I go in there and make sound effects. All right, Junior, he's dead, and he's going to sleep like a light. I didn't tell him that the monster was still under the bed. He was dead, but he was still under the bed. Okay, so I remember we used to have dinner, right?
Yeah.
You go at the dinner table, you try to teach a kid good table manners and hope they grow up and do better and all that. Listen here. We would have like, I'm not sure exactly what we had. We would have like string bean, mashed potatoes, or beef, roast beef, or whatever. Everybody else in the table eating with their fork and spoon. This boy got to make a sandwich out of everything on the plate. He would take corn, mashed potatoes, string beans, beef, chop it up, put it in a loaf of bread, and make a sandwich. I said, boy, that's not how you eat, mother. Let him learn how to eat. I said, he needs to learn some table manners. Speaking of table manners,
That amused you.
these two, well, Kadisha wasn't born, so just these two.
I was out of it.
We at the table again. They like to throw food. They like to wait till they get to the table and have food fights. What? And then we had a basement, so when they started acting up, they had to take their plate and go downstairs and eat. They had to eat downstairs a lot of times, but they were just that way. They were just bad. Anyway, so he was a little active kid. He stayed in trouble a little bit in school. You know, he made a little more than every kid, but I tried to get him involved in certain activity to keep some of his energy out of him. But I tried Boy Scout for a while to get that. He worried everybody there, so I take him out of there. So I said, well, that's Little League. So I signed him up for Little League about 7 or 8 years old. And I became one of the head coaches, and he was on my team. So now everybody that ever played Little League sports knows that the coach's son is supposed to be one of the best players on the team. Everybody knows that. Not my son. You ever heard the term that old folk would say he couldn't hit the side of the barn? This boy couldn't even hit the barn. That's just how bad he was. So, your weakest player, you put him in the weakest spot. So I had him out right field. Okay, Somebody said, look at Calvin. I looked at that. Flip wheel, cartwheels, and then chasing the pigeon. I was like, so I said, well, I'm gonna work with him. So before we was playing it, they had the recreation center and had a swing set. So I take him practice ball. 3 minutes later, he on the swing. Oh Lord. But through it all, he did okay. I made him, not necessarily made him, but he had to ride the bench for 3 years. He didn't like it. It was it was 3 years, maybe, yeah.
Every game?
Well, it was back then, it was 6 innings and everybody had to play 3 innings. You would come in the second half.
Oh, okay.
But you didn't get to start until the 4th year. But he held that against me for several years. I think he still do. But I told you, you'd be 40 years old probably before you understand why I did it. I did it, and it wasn't because to being mean, because he wasn't really ready. Those other guys had 3 years on him. So he had to learn to develop his skills before he could be a starter. Nothing is given, you have to earn it. And sometimes it takes a lot of people a long time to get that, but he will eventually if he haven't already got it. Let me see what else I got. One. I should have wrote some notes, but I have a bunch of stuff. I missed anything, Donna?
Tell them about the day you gave him a beating. And he had put clothes in his pants.
I don't know. I don't remember that. I do remember.
Yeah, now I'm telling.
And I told
So when I was young, I used to get in trouble in school all the time. Whether it was fighting, whether it was cussing the teacher out, whether it was jumping on the table, walking out class, something. So when you get in trouble in school, they call your house, and a lot of times you don't know. So by the time I get home, I get a beating from my mother. Then by the time my father comes home, it's another one. So I think this time, I don't think my mother beat me this time. But I was like, oh boy, but when daddy get home. Or she might have said, you might have said, I'm gonna wait till your father get home. Is that what one of them things happened.
Never, I
She
said
never
that.
went
Never.
But she didn't beat me that day, surprisingly. So, but I knew one was coming. So I'm like, oh boy, looking at the clock as soon as my father get home. And you know when you're in trouble because you hear it. As soon as he come in, I hear a little quiet. That must mean she was talking to him. Junior! I'm like, ah! So I had, remember the long johns, the thermals? So the 2-piece, not the one, the 2-piece. So I pulled the pants back and took like clothes out the drawer and like stuffed the back of my pants with clothes. I was like, oh, I ain't gonna feel no pain this time. So I go down the steps. My mom said, Junior, turn around, boy. So I had to take all the stuff off and he beat me anyway.
I do remember one time, I ain't never in my life seen anybody do this. He used to laugh all the time. You gonna get a beating and he's still laughing. I would beat him, he would laugh. Somehow he was laughing and crying at the same time. I have never seen anybody do that. I don't know how he do it, but it happened. Anyway, when he was growing up, Junior never wanted to take a bath. I don't know why. He would go in and take a bath, Junior. Yes, ma'am, yes, sir. The towel just is dry. So when we finally learned to teach him how to take a bath, he almost killed himself, drowned in the tub. I remember one night, I'm not sure how old he was. Anybody remember how old he was? 8 or 9 or whatever? This is serious. This is true. Fact.
9 and 12. Between 9 and 12.
No, he wasn't that old. He wasn't 12. No, wasn't that old. But anyway, he was upstairs taking a bath. And I remember everybody sitting there upstairs. So my wife and Shadonna went upstairs, knocking on the door, bathroom door. He didn't hear anything. Of course, I just jumped upstairs and ran up, knocked the door down. He was sleeping under the water. I don't know how he survived that. I reached up and snatched him out of the water. Only the grace of God knows how he was. Because he was all the way under the water. Couldn't see his face. He was asleep. And that was the only grace of God that brought him out. I reached in and grabbed him out of the tub, and he woke right up. Today, he's still here. So that's But amazing thing after that, we didn't allow him to take a bath until he was about 13. He had to leave the door open until he was about 13 years old. well, take it back. But that's what we had to do. So, and I was going to tell something else, I forgot what it was. What am I missing, Chidana?
You're told now.
I'm told now? Okay. I do remember when Junior used to have to go to babysit Junior every day in school, now almost. He used to get in so much trouble. One teacher, I went to my dad too, just to see how he was doing. I had to sit in the lunchroom with the little baby chair. So the principal teacher said, you come on, you sit right here, Mr. Tucker. I'm sitting down in a little third grade chair, and I'm like, all the other little kids that I'm the only father in there, he's just acting up. But that he had a lot of energy back in them days. So, I guess back then they would call it hypertension or whatever, but hyperactive. There we go. Anyway, but he grew out of it, so that's good. I'm proud of him. He came a long way, and I hope he continue to do good. Oh, one other thing. When I was coming up, I used to try to learn everything my father was trying to teach me. You should try to do the same thing. I said, even if you don't want to do it, learn it anyway, because you can take that knowledge and bless somebody else with it. You don't have to do it yourself. I work on cars a little bit, so Junior had his car, so I was showing him how to change his oil a couple of times. He don't like getting his hand dirty for some reason. If he had to change his oil, he'd be looking out the window at me. I'm like, I said, now you go to Jiffy Lube. He said, he's going to pay. I said, you got to learn how to do stuff and save money throughout life. He's going to pay everybody, he said. I said, okay. All right. You want to say something, Liz? I said it all?
No, I got to tell you things.
Here comes Mama. Uh-oh.
I didn't spare the rod. I believe in discipline. And I believe that when I train my children, when they go away from home, they're supposed to take it with them. So my son Calvin in school, I'm going to tell my mother, she'll come down here and pop you in your mouth. So everybody that saw me coming to school thought I was coming to pop them in the mouth. So I said, Calvin, what did you do today? Well, Mom, that teacher, she did this to me and did that. So I laid the teacher out. That's my child. You don't be telling me. So something came in my mind one day and it said, you know what? You need to go down that school and stand outside that school door and watch and see what your son is doing. So I had to go down there one day and I decided to stand outside the classroom to watch this child. So the teacher already has taken them out of the group and turned them around this way so they didn't see anybody or learn anything. He's still carrying on. The kids in the room, what are they laughing at? He get up out the chair from this way and the kids bust out laughing, and the teacher turned around, stop it. And they stood up, nice little kids. Teacher turned around and told him something else, he'd get up, spit across the classroom. When he spit across that classroom, I said, excuse me, Miss Mitchell, come here. There was a room next door. I beat him so good, everybody went back in. Shut up. Shut up. You have me come down here arguing with these teachers. You down here acting like a pure D fool. Now God gave you to me to nurture you up, and that's what I'm doing. I beat this child every day. Every day. I didn't go down there school argue with them teachers then. I said, I'm so sorry. I would every day. So then, I'm the type of mother, I like clean children. I feed my children 3 or 4 times a day, maybe some more. Till they got the size, I can tell them go get your own bath. Can I go get your bath? Yes, ma'am, Mom. You go up there with water just a running. Stay up there real nice too. Come back downstairs with the sleep was on. So one day I happened to go somewhere, out in the street too. And I looked at this child, I never seen so much crust and dirt. I said, boy, come here. What is this? You've been upstairs wasting water. I curled him up there. Get out of them clothes. I beat him in the back door. cleanest child that I know. Cal's gonna take a shower in the morning, at night. He gonna wash up when he comes home from somewhere. I gotta go somewhere, but I go in that bathroom. He knows how to be clean now. Yes.
All right.
But that Cal. But Cal was always doing something. He's very talented, and I love him. And that's why I beat him the way I did. Because my mother did not spare the rod on me. And I came up to be good. So he had to get it too. You know, back in the day, they didn't spare the rod. Shoe, brush, pot, whatever. Now today they call it child abuse.
Kitchen cords, toys.
But if they only knew, abuse only comes with certain actions, certain ways that you beat your child. You can beat them with love and kindness, with a brush, a shoe, or whatever. But when you gotta pick them up and punch them around and throw them against the wall and burn them and all that, that's child abuse. But I read this tell, look at me today. Now, let me tell you something. I used to go to school every day for this boy. And I'm telling you, fussing with the people up in the school, teachers and stuff. So I learned for myself. And that's why I tell any parent, if you have a child and they always come home telling you, Mom, the teacher did this to me, don't believe them. I know we love our kids and we want to believe them. But take the time out of your busy schedule and go just stand back and just watch. And then if you don't see it, you say, well, he's something, but this clown, he was doing it. He was doing everything he was big and bad enough to do. And I was giving him everything I had that was big and bad enough to give. But anyway, when he got around the 5th grade, I think it was, 4th grade, I put him in a school that went from elementary to 8th grade. And he began to be a good child because I beat his tail, and then he got up there, and he had other people that cared about how he was acting, so they helped him through it. Haven't had a problem on him since 5th grade through 12th grade. This adult life now. But I thank God, and only God can do these things. I have this song I always wanted to sing for God. But I'm not going to sing it because they didn't rehearse it with me, but I'm going to sing the first part of it. I have sinus and it's been bothering me this week. But anyway, I got to sing a little bit of it. They said I wouldn't make it. They said I wouldn't be here today. They said I wouldn't amount to anything. But I'm glad to say that I'm on my way. And I'm growing more and more each day. But there were many who started out with me, but now they're gone astray. But I'm still holding on. I'm still holding on. I'm still holding on to his hand.
Give it up for Molly. Yeah, serenaded me. I feel special. So that concludes the roasting portion. Thank you. Thanks, Mike.